Hi, I'm Dr. Anne-Renee Testa, and we're going to be talking about getting the love you want. There are so many people out there who have written to me and said, I don't feel lovable, my relationship isn't working, my marriage isn't working. How can you help me? I want to start off with one major thing. You see, there's a painting to my left, and that painting is called Celebration. I did the painting. And I think that each and every one of you should celebrate every single day that we're here on earth and have a positive mindset to every single thing you do. The second that there's negativity that comes into a relationship, you've lost and so has your partner. And so I want to go down a list of about 7 things that I feel are so important and I've learned in all the years that I've practiced that are integral parts of what a relationship is all about. Be it marriage or a relationship you've had for 10 years, I want you to be able to understand the elements of a relationship that's meaningful, that you can get the most of for the rest of your life. So when, let's say, you get married, and you have a very loving, warm relationship together. Always in the beginning, it always starts out that way, and somewhere along the way, something happens. Little bits and pieces of the romance fall away. Little bits and pieces of crisis come along, and you don't know how to quite deal with those things. And that picture-perfect thing that you thought was so wonderful somehow chip away day by day. So let's start off with the very first element in a really sound relationship that I believe will help make things work for you. Number one, you have to separate from your family of origin. That doesn't mean leave them. It doesn't mean never speak to them. What it means is mentally leave your family of origin. Know that they're there for you, but make a message that's really clear to them, to let them know that you love them, but that now you're embarking and you're sailing your own ship. And that, yes, you'll come back and you'll be there, but you're going to be there on a different level with your mate. So that means that when the two of you are together, both of you are number one for each other. And that message rings clear to your family of origin. So that means your mom, your dad, and those people that are really close to you, your sisters and brothers. Things change when you do get married and that when there is that closeness. So it's very important to make that message really clear to your family of origin, that the two of you now are the most important friends to each other, and that you love your family, but you love them in a different way. You're no longer the dependent child or children, but now you have a love in your life that is the love for your entire life. So let them know, do it in a loving way, but remember, the two of you in your marriage need to be the most important thing in your lives. So keep that as a mindset, that when family members try to take you away in some way, remember, you come back to each other, you go home with each other, and that's the most important thing. So keep that in mind, that your family of origin is important, but that the two of you now come first, because you're launching and you're sailing away together on this beautiful world and journey together. And it can be beautiful and it can be wonderful if you have the elements of love. The second thing is togetherness. You need to have a sense that being together at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, is the most important thing to each of you. And confirm each other in different ways. For example, tell your partner how much you love him and why you love him. Tell your partner that you just love the way he looks into your eyes. Tell your partner and share with your partner that you adore him and love him, and this is why. And sharing time together is so very important, so that togetherness is extremely important. And a male should tell his woman that she is the most important thing in his life. It will reap benefits for both of you if you can just do that, because it makes you both cherish each other. And in cherishing each other, you make each other Number one, you make each other extremely happy and loved. And that old feeling of warm fuzzies should be there. There shouldn't be any negativity in your relationship. And we're going to be talking about how you can deal with conflict in your marriage, because those things do happen. But togetherness, it doesn't mean that you're joined at the hip. It means that togetherness means it's us together, and we are number one to each other. And then we can handle everything else that happens outside. Because life happens. It's just the way it is. So be prepared for it, but the way you can be prepared for all of the stuff that happens outside you is with that togetherness. That's your real foundation. I don't want you to just have a shell with a house and furniture. I want you to have a foundation that you can lean on, not depend on, where you are so dependent in your relationship that it hurts. The two of you need to be together but separate. So if you go off to your jobs and you both need to have that individuality, separateness and individuality, you come together at the end of the day and you have things to talk about. Dependency doesn't work. Togetherness does work. Then when you go along the path, and perhaps you might decide you want to become parents. That's the third element. Now, that's a decision unto itself, because you just don't have children. You really think about what kind of parenting are you going to evolve? How are you going to do your parenting? What is your philosophy about parenting? What is your attitude towards boy children and girl children? And how are you going to be a parent? You need to parent yourselves first. You need to love yourself first and be grounded in who you are as a person. You need to be fulfilled as an individual before you can become a parent. If you have that understanding and you feel satisfied in your life, and you're not using a child to make the marriage work, you're not using a child to get the love you think you didn't get, if you are coming to parenting with a whole completeness within yourself, you will give your child and children the best life you can possibly give them. But if there are pieces missing in you, and then you make the child responsible, you've lost, the child has lost. And don't bring a child into the world if that's where you are, if the waters are muddy. Find out about yourself and about your partner before you ever decide to take on the responsibility, the wonderful responsibility of being a parent. So keep that in mind. It's a big responsibility. You just don't have babies. You think about it first and you plan for it first. And you don't let anyone, including a child, get in the way of your original love, the two of you and your togetherness, because that's what counts. When you have a child, your life changes, your priorities change, and you need to have that togetherness first before you can even embark on being a parent. So keep that in mind. Next is crisis. We all are in a crisis from one time or another. Life happens. A crisis could be someone in the family needs your help desperately. A crisis could be losing a job. There are all kinds of situations that create crises for each and every one of us. And again, it goes back to your foundation together as to how you deal with those things. So if your partner is your best friend, then whatever crisis comes, you can handle it together. You handle it individually, and you handle it together. That's very important, because, let me tell you, it's going to happen. Life isn't perfect. If your expectation is that life is going to be perfect, well, think again, because it's not. And if you are going to embark on a partnership together, know that crises will happen. It's going to happen either daily, it's going to happen next year, it's going to happen in 10 years, but know that the two of you together can handle anything that comes down the road because of your commitment to each other as friends. You've got to feel as though your partner is your very best friend, that your partner is rooting for you in anything that you do, if you embark on something that your partner says to you, yes, go for it, that you can share your fears, your dreams, your hopes, to feel as though there's a safe place between the two of you where you can really shed what's inside your soul to that person that you love and that is loving you. That's really what a marriage and a relationship is all about. It's relating to that person in a way that is loving and caring. And if that's not happening, I want you to be able to talk about it with your partner, not as a victim, but I want you to be able to say what you're feeling in a way that's helpful, a way that's communicating something very meaningful. So, for example, if you're not happy with, let's say, your partner's hours, and you want to see your partner more than you do, the way you say it is not, you know, you never come home on time. You know, dinner is always cold on the table. The way you say it is, I really would appreciate it if you are going to be late, let me know, because dinner's ready at 7 o'clock, and I like to know that you're going to be on time. So give me a call if it's not going to be on time. I would appreciate that. It's much different than being angry and saying you, because that never works. It only makes the other person get angry and defensive. And that's not what marriage is all about. It's a combining of two people from two different backgrounds. Don't forget, you've had 20 or 30 years behind you, and here you come into this relationship. There is an adjustment. So know how to give I messages in a way that you're not a victim, simply, I would appreciate it. And then take some action. Say, and why don't we call each other if we're going to be late? Or if you want to spend more time, say, you know, I'd like to have a date with you. And plan out a date. And plan out time together. And don't do it once a month. Do it several times a week. I don't care if it's going to the corner for pizza. I don't care what it is, going for a walk together. But make sure that you build that into every day. And I know we're all busy, and I want to be realistic with you, but it's very important so that the two of you can be together and that you can have a relationship for the rest of your lives. My work is about prevention. I want you to learn the tools that make you and help you live your life to the fullest. And believe me, I wasn't always like this. I came from a place where I had, and I don't like the word dysfunction, but let me tell you, it was there. But I went past it. I said that there has to be something better than this. And so I went beyond myself, and I'm constantly learning. And I want you to hear the words. They're not just words. They're my experience combined with everything that you share with me to make life better for you so that you can go down the path and you can make the path the very best you can. You know, my grandfather used to say, God writes a straight path with a crooked hand. Well, the path is right there. We just have to stay on it, and we have to keep on that path and know and keep faith in ourselves that things will be okay, that there is a guiding light somewhere out there. But you know what? That guiding light is inside you. It really is in there. You need to feel confident about who you are as a person. So that's very important. I said it before and I'll say it again. There is no room for judging. There is no room for blaming. There is no room for negativity. If you see negativity raising its head, look again and know that something's wrong, and you've got to be able to flip it around, because negativity doesn't work in marriage. It doesn't work in relationships. If you think any kind of negative comment is going to help, well, then you let me know. And if it works for you, keep on doing it. But I guarantee you there is no room for blaming and calling names and abusing each other in any way. That's a red flag. It's not necessary, and it's poisonous and cancerous. So don't allow that to happen. Judging, blaming, all sorts of nasty comments are defenses against really what you deserve, and that is feeling worthy of being loved in the best possible way that you can. And each and every one of you deserves to be loved in a whole, complete way. And that is your foundation. Don't let a day go by without confirming each other in some way, in telling each other why you love your partner. Leave a note if you don't see your partner. Leave a love note. I do that. It's important. Put one under the pillow. If I know I'm going to be away, I put one in the drawer. But I know that that is so very important. They're all things that if you think of those things, when you do those things for your partner, you're really also doing them for yourself because you get it back. That's not why I'm doing it, but I do get it back. So remember that. That's a very important factor. So we were talking about crisis. Crisis happens. You can deal with it by dealing with it together, knowing that a crisis doesn't last forever, that some do, but mostly a crisis comes and it goes. An argument or a disagreement comes and it goes. And you never remember why you argued yesterday, usually, unless you're someone that carries grudges, and you can't do that. That's a no-no. You can't carry grudges. I have a patient who said, but it feels so good when I get it out, just at the right time I get that anger out. Let me tell you something. A grudge is not healthy, and a grudge is cancerous because you're holding it inside. I want you to get things outside. Don't keep anger inside. And feel as though your partner is the safe one for you to share those things with, those things that are hurting you inside. And don't say it as a victim. Say it as someone who really wants to be loving and whole in your relationship. Now, sexual love and intimacy, that's number 5. When you decide that you want to make love, remember something. It is the most cherished, the sweetest, the most beautiful thing that you can do to each other, for each other. And know that sexual intimacy is the most wonderful connection that the two of you can have. So it's not just bim bam, thank you ma'am. And sometimes there are times that maybe both of you want to do it just that way, and that's okay, as long as you both know that. But sexual intimacy is so important in your relationship. Make time for it. Don't tell me, I have a couple that says, well, yeah, but my parents live next door. I don't care who lives next door. Guess what? Sex was invented a long time ago, so people do it. And oh, by the way, you do it too, so you don't have to be defensive about it. You can make noise, you can do whatever you want. It's behind a locked door. It's okay. In the best of all worlds, it would be nice if it were quiet and you were in a place that you didn't have to worry about that. You can make a date, by the way, and you can go someplace where you think it is secluded and where you can have some fun together and be intimate with each other. That's a whole other date, a whole other idea. But remember that sexual intimacy takes many forms. You can do it in a very loving, soft, gentle way. Understand what touching is all about. Find out what your partner really likes. Ask your partner what he or she wants, and then do it. And do it in reverse. It's quite wonderful when you do that. That's what sexual intimacy is all about. It's not inside saying, gee, he never does it the right way, or for him saying, gee, I wish he would do it this way, or I wish he'd do that to me. Forget it. You need to say it. And you need to not say it in, you never do, da-da-da-da-da. You simply say, you know, I'd really like if you, whatever it might be, and combine it, and talk about it, and talk about how you love to be touched. You know, one of my patients likes a harder hand, okay? It's a man, he wants a whole hand on his body, all over his body, and that's what he loves. And his wife wants a very gentle touching, and she likes it in certain places. But if she doesn't tell him that, and he doesn't tell her that, how do they know? So they go through life not ever sharing what it is that they really want and deserve. And so you do deserve to have the best sex you possibly can. And there are other ways to do it, but this is one thing I want you to remember. Sexual intimacy is very important. Don't run away from it, and don't run away from saying what you want, because that's how you can get the love that you really want and have sex be fantastic. And there's no reason why it shouldn't be. So it's taking care of your needs. It's not being afraid to say what you want. What do you have to lose? We've been conditioned way back when not to take care of our needs. In one form or another, we've been told that we shouldn't take care of our needs in some way. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are an adult now. You can take care of that little kid inside that wants to be nourished and fed. You can, and you can do that through your relationship. You do it individually for yourself, but you also do it within the framework of your relationship. Not through neediness, because eventually neediness is going to backfire on you, but through taking care of your needs and saying what you want. That's how you get the love that you want and you deserve. Then there's another factor, and that is to keep your interests alive. So you are an exciting person if you are interested in life, if you're interested in activities, if you're interested in sewing, books, tennis, golf, whatever those things are, that taking walks, doing marathons doesn't have to cost you money. It's what, in fact, makes you an interesting person. Have a good look at yourself and say, what am I really interested in? What are some of the things that are really kind of pique my interest? Make a list of those things. That's what makes an intimate relationship even more profound, because when you are interested in life, it makes you an exciting person. So don't be afraid to open up doors. There aren't monsters at the other end. Open up those doors. I don't want to hear you say, well, I don't know, I like that, but I don't think I can do that. You can do anything that you set your mind to do. Your mind is a very powerful muscle. You remember that. And you can control it. So don't have no in your vocabulary when it comes to you taking care of your interests. Follow them through. And by the way, make time for yourself. Make sure that you build into your day time for you. Don't make your entire life someone else's life. Don't give up your life for anyone else. Eventually, it's going to backfire, and that's what leads to a lot of divorces, because one spouse or another has given so much that they wake up one day and they say, what's in this for me? Where have I been all these years? So I want you to be able to really have that balance. You can give to your spouse, but you need to give to yourself first. The Bible says, you make yourself strong, you can save the world. And that's what you need to do. You need to take care of your own needs first, and then you can help everyone else. And that's a great feeling. It's what my work is all about. It's what you are all about. Each one of you has so much love inside, so much to give, not only to yourself, but to everyone else out there. So remember that. Take it with you and believe that. Don't tell me you're not worthy and you tell me about situations outside yourself, when in fact, if you take responsibility and you really take a good look at yourself and your own value, you can do anything you set out to do. There may be roadblocks, there may be obstacles, there's no question about it. Don't think the road is going to be smooth, but I'm here to tell you that you really can do anything you set out to do. Now, your emotions are extremely important, and your emotions may go up and down, they may go sideways, but I want you to have an emotional aliveness, a connection toward life. You know, this painting that you see a little corner of, I just took a canvas, I opened it up, and I worked on it, and I just threw the paint on it, and I chose colors that were meaningful to me. Colors that were primary colors, that were happy colors, that were connected with the joy and the energy in life. That's why I call it celebration. And I'm dressed in a tuxedo because I don't believe that this is a dress rehearsal. You've only got today. That's it. This is it. It's where you are right now. This very minute is what we all have. Time is an equalizer. It's there for each one of us. And each one of us doesn't know how much time we have here on earth. So make the time here that you have the most valuable. You are here for a reason. And give that reason real thought. And cherish yourself in the process and your partner. Stay together. Make each other number one for each other. When you do that, then you can handle anything. Make each other your very best friend. Be intimate with each other. Intimate meaning being able to share anything with your partner, that your face isn't going to get stepped on, that you're not going to be criticized, but that your partner is honest and open with you and is there for you, to love you and to hear you and to say, don't worry, it'll be okay. We can do this together, and be supportive of each other. That's where it all comes from, is supporting each other in the things you go through life. Handle the crises together in a very wholesome way. Know that crises don't last forever, and that the two of you together can handle anything. As long as you are each other's best friend, you can handle anything together. And then move forward in your lives. Have goals, have plans, have dreams. Be satisfied, though, in the present. Wherever you are right now this minute, be satisfied. Don't look across the street and say the grass is always greener. Look at where you are inside yourself to find the real happiness that you do deserve. I want you to really believe that you are deserving of the best partner, that you are deserving of the best marriage, that nothing is perfect. We are not perfect. And as you go along in your relationship, believe that the idea of perfection is the thing that sometimes destroys people. So know that stuff is going to happen. Deal with it. And understand that you are a very beautiful, caring, loving human being. I believe in each and every one of you. And you know, the reason I do this work is that I believe that experience isn't what happens to you. It is what you do with what happens. Take good care of yourself. Make your relationships the best you can, and get the love you deserve. You do deserve it, you know. Take care. See you next time. Thanks so much for your letters and your support. Keep writing, keep calling.